our Jeep brakes locked up while we were staying in Orlando.
I think it was probably the biggest fight we've had on the road.
Hi everybody, I am Justin.
I'm Paige.
And welcome back. So today we're going to cover 10 things you should know before you camp at Fort Wilderness at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, we wish we knew some of these.
Yeah, would have made things a little bit smoother.
Just a quick note that everything we talk about in this video is accurate at the time that we're recording it, and any of this may change. But a lot of this has been true for the last few years. So the first thing I wish I knew going in was that new reservations for the campground open up June 1st for the following year.
If you want to book for 2025, you're going to need to start looking at June 1st.
Yes, that's when reservations will open up and you can start booking your vacation. I wish we had known because we started last year in like February looking every couple of weeks to see if we could book for the following February.
We just could not find when it was supposed to open. So another thing that we did not know is that things tend to open up at Disney for reservations for all sorts of things 60 days out from the date that you want to reserve.
Yeah, 60 days is your magic number. So once you've booked your vacation, the first day of your stay, walk it back 60 days and put a reminder on your calendar to book dinner reservations, to book any sort of tours you want to do.
So if you want to get into some place like Space 220, the Beast Castle for dinner, if you want to do the Keys to the Kingdom behind the scenes tour, anything that's going to fill up really fast, you need to really be on that 60-day mark.
And it opens for you at midnight Eastern time on that day. That's 60 days out.
So the Disney app is great. You're going to need to use it. It's actually almost crucial to use it. It's going to let you access Genie Plus, or what was formerly known as kind of the Lightning Lane. There's actually a lot of confusion about kind of how it works and when things open. For us, you usually wanted to get it the midnight before your park day was, so that's when you want to reserve your Genie Plus on the app. But definitely get the app. It lets you see all the wait times. It lets you reserve dining. It lets you order dining for pickup, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it was useful for stuff like walk-up dining. So if we didn't have plans, they have a list on the app. You can see places that'll let you basically put your name on a list so you can just go right up and get in, hopefully. That's how we got into Tiffin's at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, we're looking around. It's like, oh, I heard good things about that. Oh, we can just kind of walk up. Yes.
Yep, we were using it. So.
Yeah, we're using it pretty consistently. That's also where you'll be doing your reservations 60 days out.
So I'm glad that Justin figured this out going in. He had ordered us some magic bands and he had gotten that all set up before we got there. I hadn't been for 20 years. Justin had never been, but he figured out the magic band thing early on. It would have been a lot harder without them, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you can use the app paired with your phone to do the same kind of thing. It's basically an RFID tap, but it is much easier to just have a standalone band on your wrist that you can just kind of bop in, because you're going to be doing it if you're doing any lightning lanes, if you're going in and out of the parks, even when we were going in and out of the campgrounds, or if you're not RVing and you're doing it in a hotel. It's how you're going to get into your room, is with those magic bands or the app. So it's much easier to have it on your wrist that you could just tap it really quick than have to be pulling out a card out of your wallet or your phone or something like that.
And they worked pretty well, I would say. For us, they were very reliable, the magic bands, when we went.
I only had one problem, and that was getting back into the resort, and front desk was able to re-register my band really quickly. If you are planning to RV at Fort Wilderness, know that the spots are tighter than most.
Yes.
I would say it's probably the tightest spots that we've ever tried to get into.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of good angles of approach, and if anybody is parked in the street at all, you're going to have a hard time in some of the bigger rigs getting into your site, and you might come awfully close to hitting things. I would say it is not a beginner-friendly approach unless you have a smaller rig, maybe a Class B or one of the park hoppers. For something like a fifth wheel, a bus, or a larger Class C like we have, it's a difficult approach.
Yeah, so if you're not used to backing your trailer up or your big Class A bus or whatever you have, I would say definitely practice and get used to it, get comfortable with it, because this is going to be one of the harder things that you try to back into.
Yeah, getting into our site was probably the biggest fight we've had on the road. When you say, I think it was probably the biggest fight we've had on the road.
Yep, it was a very short one, but it was definitely a fight. But you know, it's okay because we're still married.
Yeah, it's crucial to plan some downtime when you're staying at Fort Wilderness.
I would say, honestly, just Disney.
I mean, I know that people only have so much time, but I think you'll have a lot more fun if you have at least a day or two on either end to relax and recuperate from the parks, because the parks can be so exhausting. It can be tough traveling there, getting into the site. I think if you try to just go all out really quick, it would be a really stressful experience.
Yeah, there is definitely a reason when you buy packs of entry tickets into Disney, they give you a few days on either end. They expect that you're not going to be going to the parks every single day, because that would be absolutely exhausting.
Yeah. So I definitely think that to have more fun, you should plan some rest days. Oh, this one's embarrassing.
So Paige, are you smarter than the average bear?
Apparently not. Apparently not.
All over Fort Wilderness, mostly for raccoons. They do have bear-proof trash cans all over. They're the kind that you got to slide your hand in and kind of press on a button and get in there. So if you just think you're going to be able to whip this thing open in the rain.
Yeah, that could have happened to me. So I was taking out the trash really quickly in the rain, and I was really tired and I was in a hurry. I just wanted to run out and put the trash in, and I wasn't thinking, and I could not open the bear-proof trash can. So yeah, there's just a little button inside.
But if you've never experienced those, it can actually be really frustrating because these are older. They've probably been around since the park was put in.
Yes.
And so the instructions have worn off several of them, so you don't know that you need to reach in and figure that out.
That's it, exactly. It wasn't like labeled or anything, so, be aware. Be smarter than the average bear.
After all, I'm smarter than the average bear.
Fort Wilderness is set on 400 acres. It's big. It takes you about 10 minutes from the front to drive all the way to the back. So you're going to need a way to get around. You can rely on walking and using the internal bus system, but most people are going to find it much more enjoyable if you have bikes, if you have one wheels, if you have golf carts. I will say the golf cart infrastructure at the resort is mighty.
Yes, and they rent them, although there's a limited quantity. I think they still had them when we were there.
When it's extremely busy, they do sell out, but they generally have them.
Yeah, we got around on e-bikes. When we were researching, we found conflicting info about whether or not they had e-bikes.
Yes.
As of when we went, which is February 2024, e-bikes were A-okay.
They do expect you to follow the rules of the road.
Yes.
They expect you to ride them respectfully, and that's true of any transportation mode. They apparently had some trouble in the past. I think they temporarily might have banned them from some of the information we saw, but currently they do allow them. If you make trouble, you might get in trouble.
Yes. The one way that we didn't find the 400 acres intimidating was when it came to settlement and the boat to Magic Kingdom, because we did book the settlement loop, the 100, 200 loop sites. We were able to walk right down, get easily to the park, and that was really easy for us. But if you're in a different part of the park, that's going to be tougher.
Yep. But again, you can take your golf cart. There's literally parking for bikes and golf carts right down by the boats. We liked being able to just walk because we didn't have to worry about locking anything up or anything like that.
You can get as many packages as you want at Fort Wilderness, but it's going to cost you a $6 fee for them to receive it at the office, and if you want it delivered directly to your site, it's another $6. So it's a total of $12 if you have it delivered right to your site.
Yep. We were there for a couple of weeks, and so we did have a couple of things delivered because we had several packages we were expecting, and it was the longest stay we had for a while.
Yes, we ended up using a local Amazon locker for some of it, and then the more sensitive items we had delivered to the campground. We paid that $6 handling fee because, with Amazon, they split things up into like a jillion packages, and we didn't want to have to pay like $60.
If you think you're doing a big Amazon order and getting them all delivered to the resort, I would recommend against it. You might suddenly have $50 in package handling fees. But yeah, I would definitely check with the front desk before you get packages delivered. What's actually really cool about Fort Wilderness is that it's close to a lot of things. It seems like, you're in the Disney bubble, you're right next to the Magic Kingdom. It seems like you might be far away from stuff, but we found we're about a 10-15 minute drive from a Publix and a whole bunch of other shopping centers. We were able to go out and get things. Sometimes shopping on resort can be a little pricey.
It can be.
You can get groceries delivered, but again, you're going to be getting charged delivery fees and things like that. So we decided to go out and do that ourselves just to save a little bit of money on that. So you are really close to a lot of things. Oh, I have an extra bonus fact for them. And this is something that I hope you don't need. However, our Jeep brakes locked up while we were staying in Orlando. And it was nice to find that Disney World has a full-service car care center that can handle any sort of minor or major repair. They do everything from tires to oil changes to brakes to transmissions. They actually take care of the entire fleet that is within Disney World. So if you do need something convenient that also hooks into all of the transportation that is on resort without having to get a taxi or something. So if you do need it, you can get your car repaired right on resort.
And they even had a good courtesy shuttle to and from the transportation center that was kind of the hub for all the transportation. So we were able to go to that transit center, and then there was somebody that came and picked us up and brought us and all that.
And I will say that I didn't feel taken advantage of. They
Nope.
charged pretty reasonable prices
Yeah.
from everything that I've experienced. And yeah, they were able to get us back on the road actually the same day. So
Yeah, they fit us in.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind, that peace of mind.
I was a Disney newbie. She hadn't been for years. So these were just several things that we thought we should have known before we went. But I'm sure there's lots of other things that people think you should know before you go to Disney. So why don't you let us know what they are, and maybe we'll make another video about it.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week.